I inherited $200,000 and I'm hiding it from everyone because I'm scared. My aunt died 3 months ago and left me everything. She never had kids and we were pretty close, but I never thought she'd do something like this. The lawyer called me into his office and just said the number out loud. $200,000. I sat there staring at him like he was speaking another language. The first person who asked me about it was my mom. She called 2 days after the funeral and said, "Are you doing okay with everything?" I knew she meant the money. I told her Aunt Linda left me a few thousand to help with bills and that was it. She said, "Oh, that's nice, honey." And I could hear the relief in her voice that I wasn't suddenly rich. My brother texted me a week later asking if I got anything and I said just enough to cover her cremation costs. He wrote back, "That sucks, man," and never brought it up again. Here's the thing. I grew up watching money rip my family apart. When my grandma died, she left my mom and her 2 sisters some cash, and within 6 months they weren't speaking. My aunt Karen bought a new car, and my mom cried at our kitchen table saying it should have been split differently. My other aunt posted vacation photos, and suddenly there were arguments about who deserved what. They didn't talk for almost 4 years, all because of maybe $30,000 total. So when I got this money, I made a choice. Nobody could know I kept going to my job at the grocery store stocking shelves at night. I kept driving my beat-up Honda with the check engine light on. I kept wearing the same 3 pairs of jeans. My best friend Owen complained about his student loans one day and said, "At least you don't have debt," and I just nodded. I didn't tell him I could pay off his loans twice and still have money left. My coworker Amy asked if I wanted to split an appetizer at dinner because money was tight, and I said yeah, same, and we shared mozzarella sticks while I had 40,000 sitting in a savings account. The lying got easier. Someone would say I wish I could afford that, and I'd say me too. My dad asked if I needed help with rent, and I said I'm managing and let him think I was barely scraping by. My cousin posted on social media asking family for help with her medical bills, and I scrolled past it. I could have helped. I didn't, because the second I sent money the questions would start, but the secret started feeling like a weight. I'd be at work moving boxes and thinking about investment accounts. I'd be watching TV with Owen and thinking about whether I should buy a house. I made a dumb choice last month and put 5,000 into some stock my coworker mentioned and it tanked. Lost almost half of it in 2 weeks. I couldn't tell anyone. I just had to sit there and deal with it alone. When it's your secret, you can't even complain about your own mistakes. My mom called yesterday asking if I could loan her $200 for car repairs. $200. I have 200,000 and she's asking for 200. I told her I'd have to wait until next paycheck. She said, "Okay, honey, don't worry about it." And I hung up and just sat on my couch staring at the wall. I could have sent her 10,000 right then. But if I send 200, she'll wonder where it came from. If I send more, she'll know something's up. Last week, my landlord said he's raising rent, and I acted stressed about it in front of my roommate Josh. I paced around the apartment saying, "I don't know if I can afford this." And Josh said, "We'll figure it out together, man. I could buy the whole building." Instead, I'm pretending to panic about $70 more a month. Owen invited me to his wedding next year. Destination wedding in Mexico. He said, "I know it's expensive, so no pressure if you can't make it." I told him I'd have to see and started talking about saving up the flights like $400. I spent more than that on dinner alone last month just because I wanted to see what it felt like. But I can't go to my best friend's wedding acting like money's easy now. The worst part is I catch myself resenting people for not knowing. My brother complained about his job the other day and I almost snapped at him. My mom talks about how tired she is from working doubles, and part of me wants to scream that I could fix that, but I don't. Because the second this money becomes real to them, I stop being their daughter or their sister or their friend. I become the person with money. Everything changes. I opened a retirement account 2 weeks ago, put 70,000 in it. The financial advisor kept congratulating me and I just nodded. I drove home and ate ramen for dinner because that's what I told Josh I was eating. I'm 26 years old with enough money to change my life, and I'm eating 30-cent noodles to keep up alive.